The beginning of love is the will to let those we love be perfectly themselves, the resolution not to twist them to fit our own image. Art enables us to find ourselves and lose ourselves at the same time. Love is our true destiny. We do not find the meaning of life by ourselves alone, we find it with another. The beginning of love is to let those we love be perfectly themselves and not to twist them to fit our own image. Our idea of God tells us more about ourselves than about Him. If a man is to live, he must be all alive: body, soul, mind, heart, spirit. Anxiety is the mark of spiritual insecurity. But there is greater comfort in the substance of silence than in the answer to a question. Love seeks one thing only, the good of the one loved. It leaves all the other secondary effects to take care of themselves. Love, therefore, is its own reward. Solitude is a way to defend the spirit against the murderous din of our materialism. A man knows when he has found his vocation when he stops thinking about how to live and begins to live. Life is this simple. We are living in a world that is absolutely transparent and the divine is shining through it all the time. This is not just a nice story or a fable, it is true. Peace demands the most heroic labor and the most difficult sacrifice. It demands greater heroism than war. It demands greater fidelity to the truth and a much more perfect purity of conscience. Souls are like athletes, that need opponents worthy of them, if they are to be tried and extended and pushed to the full use of their powers, and rewarded according to their capacity. Reason is in fact the path to faith, and faith takes over when reason can say no more. To say that I am made in the image of God is to say that love is the reason for my existence, for God is love. Love is my true identity. Selflessness is my true self. Love is my true character. Love is my name. The greatest need of our time is to clean out the enormous mass of mental and emotional rubbish that clutters our minds. The greatest temptations are not those that solicit our consent to obvious sin, but those that offer us great evils masking as the greatest goods. The biggest human temptation is to settle for too little. Music is pleasing not only because of the sound but because of the silence that is in it. Without the alternation of sound and silence, pride makes us artificial, humility makes us real. What we have to be is what we are. Ask me not where I live or what I like to eat. Ask me what I am living for and what I think is keeping me from living fully that. The beginning of love is to let those we love be perfectly themselves, and not to twist them to fit our own image. Otherwise we love only the reflection of ourselves we find in them. Despair is the absolute extreme of self-love. It is reached when a person deliberately turns his back on all help from anyone else in order to taste the rotten luxury of knowing himself to be lost. The light of truth burns without a flicker in the depths of a house that is shaken with storms of passion and fear. I will no longer wound myself with the thoughts and questions that have surrounded me like thorns. That is a penance you do not ask of me. When you expect the world to end at any moment, you know there is no need to hurry. You take your time, you do your work well. The least of learning is done in the classrooms. Hurry ruins saints as well as artists. The deepest of level of communication is not communication, but communion. It is wordless, beyond speech, beyond concept. For each one of us, there is only one thing necessary: to fulfill our own destiny, according to God's will, to be what God wants us to be. Violence is not completely fatal until it ceases to disturb us. Be still, there is no longer any need of comment. It was a lucky wind that blew away his halo with his cares, a lucky sea that drowned his reputation. The real reason why so few men believe in God is that they have ceased to believe that even a God can love them. A man who fails well is greater than one who succeeds badly. We do not want to be beginners at prayer. But let us be convinced of the fact that we will never be anything but beginners, all our life. Our job is to love others without stopping to inquire whether or not they are worthy. Our vocation is not simply to be, but to work together with God in the creation of our own life, our own identity, our own destiny. To work out our identity in God. For the ones who are called saints by human opinion on earth may very well be devils, and their light may very well be darkness. Art enables us to find ourselves and lose ourselves at the same time. Prayer and love are learned in the hour when prayer becomes impossible and the heart has turned to stone. Whose silence are you? The end of the world will be legal. The spiritual life is first of all a life. It is not merely something to be known and studied, it is to be lived. It is of the very essence of Christianity to face suffering and death not because they are good, not because they have meaning, but because the resurrection of Jesus has robbed them of their meaning. The cause of liberty becomes a mockery if the price to be paid is the wholesale destruction of those who are to enjoy liberty. Gandhi, quoted in Merton, p. 68. There is only one problem on which all my existence, my peace, my happiness depend: to discover myself in discovering God. If I find Him I will find myself, and if I find my true self I will find Him. This is the crucifixion of Christ, in which He dies again and again in the individuals who were made to share the joy and freedom of His grace, and who deny Him. The peace produced by grace is a spiritual stability too deep for violence. It is unshakable. We live on the brink of disaster because we do not know how to let life alone. We do not respect the living and fruitful contradictions and paradoxes of which true life is full. Your life is shaped by the end you live for. You are made in the image of what you desire. Indeed, it is a kind of quintessence of pride to hate and fear even the kind and legitimate approval of those who love us. I mean, to resent it is a humiliating patronage. The logic of worldly success rests on a fallacy, the strange error that our perfection depends on the thoughts and opinions and applause of other men. There is no greater disaster in the spiritual life than to be immersed in unreality, for life is maintained and nourished in us by our vital relation with realities outside and above us.
We have what we seek. We don't have to rush after it. It was there all the time, and if we give it time it will make itself known to us.
I am earth, earth my heart's love bursts with hay and flowers. I am a lake of blue air in which my own appointed place field and valleys stand reflected. Perhaps I am stronger than I think. True happiness is not found in any other reward than that of being united with God. If I seek some other reward besides God Himself, I may. In the end, it's the reality of personal relationships that save everything. How deluded we sometimes are by the clear notions we get out of books. They make us think that we really understand things of which we have no practical knowledge at all. To be grateful is to recognize the love of God in everything He has given us, and He has given us everything. Every breath we draw is a gift of His love. Conscience is the light by which we interpret the will of God in our own lives. Jesus lived and died in vain if He did not teach us to regulate the whole of life by the eternal law of love. Gandhi, quoted in Merton, p. 38. But I believe that the desire to please you does in fact pleases you. Every moment and every event of every man's life on earth plants something in his soul. We must make the choices that enable us to fulfill the deepest capacities of our real selves. If you find God with great ease, perhaps it is not God you have found. Death is someone you see very clearly with eyes in the center of your heart, eyes that see not by reacting to light, but by reacting to a kind of it. Today the artist has inherited the combined functions of hermit, pilgrim, prophet, priest, shaman, sorcerer, soothsayer, alchemist. Thank you for watching our video. Don't forget subscribe and follow our channel.